In this video, we're going to be discussing why right now is the perfect time. If you're a landlord or even an investor, why there has never been a better time for you to actually start looking at the serviced accommodation model. There literally has never been a better time right now. And in this video, we're going to show you 5 reasons why if you're not thinking about this, then you really need to get involved in this market. Okay, so let's get into this. Now, the very first reason why right now is the perfect time to get into service accommodation is, number one, you're going to get higher yields on your property, right? The current economic climate, we're talking, January of 2023. Interest rates have been going through the roof in terms of mortgages. And what's happened over the last few years is people who took out mortgages in 2020, when rates were pretty much zero, they were getting really good rates, locked it in for 2 years, and now those mortgages are coming to fruition. It's coming to time to renew. At the same time, you've got this unprecedented spike of interest rates. So if you're a landlord, how do you mitigate that? And a lot of landlords are simply not able to find a solution. And as a result of that, they're wanting to actually sell their portfolios. But if you considered using serviced accommodation model, which means instead of renting out your property on a monthly basis, so if you're renting it out for £1,000, £2,000, whatever it is, depending on locations, you're renting out the property on a monthly basis. Instead of doing that, you can rent the property out on a per night basis. And typically, you would generate, if you're in the right locations, you've done your analysis, you know the areas work, you would typically generate 2 to 3 times what you would from a traditional rental agreement, which is absolutely incredible. So when you're looking at the ROI on that, it's not really comparable. All of a sudden, the stress the market is going through now doesn't actually then apply to you. So that is the very first reason. The second reason is flexibility. Now, what a lot of people tend to do is, either you've got this holiday home somewhere, or, if you've got family, friends coming around, when you've actually got properties, you have to put them in the hotels to accommodate them. But if you're running a serviced accommodation business, then quite simply what you could actually do is block out, in the calendar, when your family, when your friends, and maybe you're going on holidays, whenever it might be, it's your property. You can block that time out and use that time, use your own property to do the things that you actually want to do. And you actually get to control who stays in the property as well. You don't have to accept people in the property who you don't want to. And that's the level of flexibility that's starting to attract a lot of landlords and investors now. Because you're able to pre-screen people consistently to make sure you're getting the right type of people into the property. So that's number 2. Now, number 3 is just less hassle. Right? You don't have to worry about voids. The way the government legislations are, when it comes to traditional rentals, it's very skewed, towards the actual tenants. But with the service accommodation model, you don't have to worry about voids. You don't have to worry about evictions. You don't have to worry about wear and tear, which is something, that really tends to dip into your profits, that wear and tear. Whenever you get in your property, oftentimes you got to put some more money back into this property. With service accommodation, the property has to remain at showroom standard at all times, which means on a weekly basis, you're getting cleaners coming in there. Any issues that come up gets dealt with straight away. And because you're generating a lot more income, it's easy to really keep on top of these things. So that means the wear and tear that you actually get for your property, you don't notice it. You literally do not notice it. When you start a service accommodation business today, and let's say you finished in 3 years' time, the property is going to look exactly the same, because it has to look exactly the same for that new guest that comes in every single time. So it is unparalleled, when it comes to that. And I haven't even got into point number 4 yet, which is all of the tax benefits. It is insane. Whenever I present landlords with this, because we do a service accommodation management model, which means we actually manage properties as service departments for the landlords. Going back to point number 3, less hassle. So you don't even have to worry about all these things, because companies like ours can actually handle all of that for you. But when you start talking about the tax benefits, so for example, Section 24 that came in 2015, meaning you can't write off your mortgage interest unless you're registered as a limited company. Now, the reality is a lot of portfolio landlords, a lot of investors who bought prior to this time were buying in their personal names, and actually moving over to a limited company can become a costly exercise. So they've just been stuck in that middle where they're not able to write off all of these expenses, and it's costing them money. Now, if you're running your property as a service accommodation, Section 24 doesn't actually apply to you, which is just absolutely incredible. So that's one. You also get your capital allowances, so all of the furnitures, all of the maintenance costs. You can literally write all of this off because it's a service-based business and you absolutely need all of these things to run an efficient service accommodation business. So you get to write all of that off. You get business rates instead of council tax. You also get, entrepreneurs relief. There are so many tax benefits. It's unprecedented. So that is number 4. Number 5 is the growth potential. Because of the amount of income that you can actually generate from these properties, first of all, appreciation, if you're buying in the right locations, that means there's traffic actually coming there in the first place. So naturally, if you're buying in areas that work for service accommodation, then it's going to have really good growth potential. But then also, because you're generating income from that property, you're not able, if you want to pull some money out, refinance on a commercial basis, based on what you've been generating for the past couple of years, and you're able to get more than even what the property is worth, because it's not based on what the property is worth, it's based on what the property can generate as a business. So look, those are just 5 very quick and simple points. There are so many more reasons. It is just an incredible time right now to get into service accommodation. So if you're a landlord or an investor and it's not something that you've thought about, then I would urge you right now to start thinking about it, because what we are finding is it's actually changing people's lives. People that were going to sell the property and just, pack up the whole landlord business in the first place, now they've seen this as a way to actually get out of that, start generating money. But apart from the generating income, you're not able to actually write off, those interest payments. So you're making even more money and saving on taxes as well. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So that's pretty much it for now. If you have liked this video, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel so we can grow as much as possible and get this message out there to as many people as possible. And I will see you all on the next video.